don't know with the skins, man. If I can't be a purple slime, what should I be? Now I just have 4 ears. Today, I'm gonna show you how to set up a Hytale server on your own system and how you can make it so your friends can join without any port forwarding whatsoever. Of course, I've made a video about this for Minecraft before, but as Hytale is immensely popular now, and lots of Minecraft players are currently giving it a try, I thought it would be good to show how to set up a Hytale server too. Especially because setting up a Hytale server is a bit more complicated and does require a few more steps. And of course, port forwarding is always a thing. Some love it, some hate it. The reality is it can be quite a complicated process, especially if you've never logged into your router before, and some ISPs don't even allow you to port forward. So if that's the case for you, then today you're in luck, because I'm gonna show you how to host a Hytale server on your own system without any port forwarding whatsoever. If you don't own Hytale yet, but you do plan on getting it, consider using creator code KASAISORA at checkout. I'm actually a Hytale partner, which means if you use my code, you will directly support me and the channel. And it doesn't cost you anything extra. Also, make sure to subscribe to my second YouTube channel, also Kasai, as I'm only gonna make a limited amount of Hytale content here on this channel, while more content like live streams will most likely happen over there. So do make sure to subscribe, that way you will never miss a video or stream. With that being said, do make sure to subscribe to the channel and let me show you how to set up a Hytale server. So setting up a Hytale server works a little bit different compared to a Minecraft server, and it is mostly because, unlike Minecraft, to host a Hytale server, you actually have to own the game. So in theory, even if you don't own Minecraft, you can totally go to the Minecraft website, download a vanilla server there, launch it, accept the EULA, and you're good to go. The server will be up. You may not be able to play because, well, you don't have the game itself, but you can still run it. Hytale works different. To host a Hytale server, you actually have to have a Hytale account. And without authenticating an account, you're not able to host a dedicated server. But what is also important to note is that you don't have to host a dedicated Hytale server in order to play together with your friends. So if you're inside of a Hytale world, like I am right now, what you can do is open the pause menu and from here select online play. In this menu, it will ask us if other players should be able to join our world. This we're of course gonna set to true. After that, you can set a password if you want. This is not mandatory, but if you do set a password, like for example a subscribe, then we can actually include the password in the share code, which means that as soon as we generate a share code, the password is already included and they don't have to enter it separately. After that, we can simply click on save, and this will then set up a connection. Doing this will generate a code that we can now copy to our clipboard. In this code, you can share to your friends, and inside of their copy of Hytale, they can join your world through the server's menu by clicking on the button join via code. Now, good to keep in mind, this whole local hosting system actually uses a protocol called UPnP. In case you've never heard of that, it stands for Universal Plug and Play, and it is an internet protocol which essentially allows applications on your system to open ports on your router on your behalf. What that means is that if your router supports Universal Plug and Play, Hytale will be able to port forward for you, and that is how players would then be able to join your server. The thing about Universal Plug and Play though is that it is generally considered unsafe. And because it is generally considered unsafe, lots of ISPs actually disable it by default, including mine. You can see my net type is restricted with no UPnP, which means that I will not be able to use this feature. Now let's say for you it also says restricted. That means that without enabling UPnP inside of your router, if your ISP even allows that, you're not going to be able to use this feature. Also, using this feature, it will share your IP, because the code that it will generate, the code that I can easily copy by clicking on this button, will actually contain your IP. If I want to play with some online friends, but I don't necessarily want them to have my IP, you should also not use this setting. And that is where hosting a dedicated server can come in handy, as with a dedicated server, we can make it so friends can join without any port forwarding whatsoever. So with all of that said, if you're still sure you want a dedicated Hytale server without port forwarding, let me show you exactly how to set that up. The first thing you need to do is actually install the Hytale launcher. It is very important you do this, because with the Hytale launcher actually comes some files that you need in order to run the server. Something which you will also need is a Hytale account. Like mentioned previously, unlike Minecraft, for Hytale you need to have an account in order to even run a server in the first place. That is because we need to authenticate our account as soon as we boot the server. I'll of course show you how to do that, but do keep this in mind. And then lastly, we're gonna need to download Java 25. Yes, we may not be running Minecraft, but we are running Hytale, and even though Hytale itself, the game, is written in C#, the server is written in Java. So in order to run a dedicated server, we're gonna need Java 25. Also, fun fact, because all of the Hytale mods run on the server side, this means that for the development of Hytale mods, you only need to know how to code in Java. You don't have to write mods in C# because mods don't run client-side. Anyway, simply make sure to download Java 25 for your appropriate operating system, and to be certain, reboot your system after installing it, just to make sure everything works properly. Now after that, what you want to do is open up the folder where your Hytale is installed. Now you can do this by simply navigating to the correct path, but the easiest way to open your Hytale directory is simply booting the game, and after that simply going to Worlds, right-clicking a world, and then you want to click on Open Folder. This will open up the directory of the world that you have selected, but from here we can easily go back to the Hytale folder, and then inside of the Hytale folder you want to go to Install. After that, go to Release, then you want to go to Package, and inside of Package you want to navigate to Game. Now inside of Game you may see multiple folders. The one you want to go for will always be called Latest, and then inside of the latest folder you will find an assets.zip file. This zip you simply want to copy, and I would recommend making a folder on your desktop. I'm gonna call it Epic Hytale Server, just like that. And then I'm simply gonna paste assets.zip inside. Then what you want to do is go back inside of the latest folder, and over here you now want to go to server. And inside of the server folder, you'll be able to find a few files. All of these you simply want to copy and paste them inside of that folder we made on our desktop as well. Just like that. We're not gonna need this window anymore, so I'm simply gonna close it. And what we're gonna do now inside of the Epic Hytale server folder is create a run.bat file. If you've ever set up a local Minecraft server, you might have done this before. But what we're gonna do is simply right-click, we're gonna create a new text document. The name really doesn't matter, simply open it up, and inside of the text document, we're gonna type java-jar. After that, the name of the actual jar, which in our case is hytaleserver.jar. So hytaleserver.jar, just like that. And then we basically want to tell the server jar where our assets folder is located. So we're gonna type a double dash assets, and after that we're gonna tell it where the assets folder is. Now, because the assets folder is located in the same folder as our server jar, and also in the same folder as this run.bat file, we don't actually have to specify a path. So all you want to do is simply type in the name of this zip file. So in my case, that will be assets with a capital A .zip. Now we're gonna go to file, we're gonna go to save as, and we're gonna change the save as type to all files, and then we're gonna turn it into a run.bat, just like that. We're gonna save it. You can see there it is, run.bat. So we're gonna double click the run.bat file, and would you look at that? Our Hytale server is booting. Now it's gonna give a lot of warnings, and don't worry, it is gonna give a lot more warnings later on. It just kinda does that. As long as your server is working, just ignore them, for the most part. And eventually, after loading for a while, your Hytale server will say, Hytale server booted. It took 7 seconds, but it also says that the server currently has no tokens configured, and that we need to authenticate. This is really important, and this is the part where you need a Hytale account for, because we need to authenticate this server with our Hytale account in order for the server to work. So to do that, what you want to do is simply type in /auth login, and after that device, just like that. Then you want to press enter, and doing this will generate a link. Actually, it will generate 2 links. One general link, and then one link with a code included in the link, so you don't have to manually add it. So what you want to do is simply open this bottom link. You can do that on Windows by holding Control and clicking. Doing that that will open your browser and you will get a pop-up screen that says Authorize Device. Hytale is requesting access to your account. Over here you simply want to click on approve. After that, verify with Cloudflare that you're a human, and there we go. Device authorized. And now when we go back to the console, you can see that it has progressed. Now this next section, I don't know if this is exclusive to accounts that have multiple profiles, or if you will always get this option, but in my case, I have 2 profiles connected to the same Hytale account, and I need to specify which profile I want to use. So I'm simply gonna type /off, select, and then I'm gonna select my Kasasara profile, which in my case is profile 2, so /off select 2, press enter, and there we go. We are officially in. Now something which we can do, because all of this authorizing is quite annoying, is generating an encrypted file in our server folder, so we don't have to go through this authorization process every single time we boot the server, saving you a bunch of time. To generate such an encrypted file, we're simply gonna type /off again, then you wanna type persistence, and after that encrypted with a capital E. This is the whole command. Simply press enter, and this will then make it so you don't have to do the whole authorization again every single time you boot the server. But hey, our server is up, it's running, it's working, and we can actually join it now and play. So in-game, we can simply go to servers, then we're gonna add a new server, and all you want to type here, because it's running on your own local system, is a local host. I'm gonna name the server local, there we go. I'm gonna click on add server, and after that double click to connect. And you will see that it does actually work. There we go, we're in the server. The server that we've just set up, it is now running, we're inside, and we're now able to play and have a fun time. It is as easy as that. The thing is though, our friends are still not able to join, because we've not done any port forwarding whatsoever, and we're also not gonna do that. Instead, I'm gonna show you a completely port forward free method using, of course, playit.gg. In case you don't know them, playit.gg is an amazing service that utilizes tunneling in order to make players join your server without requiring you to port forward whatsoever. It is a great service, it gets used for Minecraft very often, it also supports a bunch of other games, and one of those games is Hytale. So over here you simply want to go to download, and after that you want to download the appropriate version for your operating system. Yes, there is a plugin section, but this only works for Minecraft. Then we just continue clicking on next a few times. After that we click on install, we wait for a little bit, and there we go, playit.gg is installed. After installing, you want to open up playit.gg. This basically just is a second terminal, and it over here asks you to visit this link. So on Windows, simply hold Ctrl and then click. This will open up the following web page. Over here you can either log in with your playit.gg account, or if you don't have an account, you can click on create an account, and after that, at the bottom, simply click on use guest account. Do keep in mind, if you use a guest account, you can't save your agents, which means next time you boot playit.gg, the join domain that you will need to share with your friends will be different. If you want it to stay persistent, aka having the same agent, then you want to make an account. I'm gonna use it as a guest though, so I'm gonna click on use guest account, and over here you want to click on set up a new agent. Doing that will open up this page. Over here you want to click on yes, it's running, at least if you still have the terminal open, which you should have. And after that it will ask you to visit the claim URL from the program or enter the code here. So I'm simply gonna click on this link once more. Seems like that worked just fine. Now we're gonna click on continue. After that you can choose an agent, meaning that you can change this name here. I'm gonna set it to subscribe, because why not? But you can change it to anything you want. Then we click on add agent, and after that it's gonna wait for the program, and there we go. Playit.gg is successfully set up. We can now go ahead and click on create tunnel, and after it's done loading, you will get to this web page. Your playit.gg terminal should now also look like this. That's looking great. What we're gonna do now is we're gonna create a tunnel by clicking on add tunnel, and then over here at region, you simply want to select global anycast, and then the tunnel type you want to set to, spoiler alert, Hytale. So we're gonna select Hytale, and then we're gonna press add tunnel, and there we go. Our tunnel is pending. It is now doing its thing, and there we we go. It is now giving us quite a random domain, but honestly, we don't care. This is now the domain we can share with our friends so they can hop onto our server. Do keep in mind that for Hytale, the port also needs to be included. So this whole link with the domain and with the port, that you want to copy. And then inside of Hytale, we're gonna go to servers. We're gonna add a server. We're gonna add in that whole domain plus the port. I'm gonna call it playit.gg, just like that. Click on add, and there we go. When we now double click, you will see that I successfully joined the server once more. This time not through localhost, but through the playit.gg tunnel. And there we go. We're playing Hytale. That domain you can now share with all of your friends, so you can play on a dedicated Hytale server together without any port forwarding whatsoever. You don't even have to have Hytale open now, just have the playit.gg terminal and the Hytale server running on your PC in the background, and this server will be accessible to everyone. I made a tutorial already here on the channel about installing mods on Hytale. Do make sure to check it out if you're interested, but if you have a dedicated Hytale server running, all of the mods that you want to run, you simply have to put them inside of this mods folder. You don't have to install them on your own local client. For Hytale, modding is 100% server-side, and the server will actually provide the mods to the client. So all you have to do is put all of your mods inside of the mods folder, inside of your Hytale server directory, and then anyone who joins your Hytale server will be able to experience those mods without having to install anything themselves. It actually is really cool. And that's it for today. Do make sure to subscribe to the channel, join my Discord. Thank you so much, channel members, and then I'll see you in the next one. Bye bye, see you later, bye bye.